Services Management Part 7, Luxury versus Premium Strategy. The objectives of the day are: discuss the similarities and differences between luxury and premium, identify and discuss the 5 brand values of a luxury good, compare and contrast luxury, premium, and lifestyle, identify and discuss mystique luxury and how it compares to mass consumer and luxury goods. The overlap between luxury and premium brands is called mystique brands. In other words, these brands confuse consumers, many times intentionally, to attract more consumers by creating introductory goods at lower prices. However, many argue that this damages the image of the luxury brand. This is a challenge of converting a luxury good into an economic exercise. Financially, it makes sense to offer different tiers of luxury goods, but it can damage the brand reputation. One of the main differences between a luxury and premium brand is that a premium brand doesn't necessarily provide an hedonistic experience nor create status for the consumer. For example, the Costco Kirkland brand doesn't necessarily provide a hedonistic experience or enhances a person's status. A luxury brand power is what value it provides to the luxury consumer. A luxury consumer searches for things that bring them hedonistic and status values. The brand power only happens once a consumer identifies the value of a brand for themselves. In other words, brand power must be earned from the consumer. A brand must decide how to position themselves. Today, many companies are trying to position themselves as a lifestyle brand, even in the luxury market. The challenge is that a lifestyle brand tends to have a short life because people will want different things over time. One of the antecedents of luxury is that a good must be timeless, which is contrary to a lifestyle brand. A premium brand doesn't provide the emotional attachment with the consumer, nor does it provide status, but is seen rather as an excellent value. For example, many people love the Lexus because it has true value, but most people do not consider it a luxury brand. What is a mystique good? It's somewhere between a premium and a luxury good. Why are companies offering mystique goods? It's more of an introductory offering. For example, the C-Class of a Mercedes. Most people couldn't afford the traditional Mercedes car, so Mercedes invented the C-Class. Mystique stands for the masses and prestige. Let's take a look at these 3 examples.
If ever there was a place that wine lovers call paradise, it's Bordeaux, in southwestern France, home to some of the most prestigious and expensive wines in the world. Here, in the rarefied air of Mouton Rothschild and Margaux, discriminating buyers come once a year to sample and rate the latest vintage.
The finesse, the elegance of it is amazing.
Among these elite tasters, perhaps none has a more profound influence on the global wine market than this woman, Annette Alvarez-Peters.
Our customers are looking for great wines, and we feel that there's an obligation for us to be here.
But Alvarez-Peters doesn't represent an elite high-end distributor or 5-star restaurant. She works for Costco. And Costco, famous for televisions, tires, and tuna fish, just happens to sell more wine than almost any retailer in the world, more than $1 billion worth each year. That makes Alvarez-Peters one of the most powerful figures in the wine industry. Did you have a big background in wine already?
I did not.
Did you know anything about wine?
I did not.
You had to go out and learn about wine from scratch.
Beer, wine, and spirit, yes, I did.
And now you're the most powerful person in wine?
I'm an employee of Costco.
You're an employee
that
of
happens
Costco.
to oversee the wine category.
20 years ago, Alvarez Peters was buying audio electronics for Costco.
How many labels are you
Today, she heads a team of 17 domestic and international wine buyers and is involved in every detail of the business.
I think it's too light, huh?
From approving label designs
That seems better.
to teaching other Costco buyers the tricks of the trade.
We got Burgundy to the east along with Rhone. All of the buyers have purchased other categories for our company. You learn that discipline and then you learn the product.
That's not easy, is it?
There's a learning curve,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
Go inside the cultural icon, Costco. The science behind the bargains. How
What this probably have shown you is that Costco, even though they purchase $1 billion worth of wines, they're not a sophisticated buyer per se, but they understand wine value, even in the luxury brand of wines. So let's take a look at another example with Costco.
Hello, Internet. I'm Chaz.
And I'm Dan. Welcome to Wine is Serious Business, episode 142. Today we're doing a tasting of toilet paper. I'm sorry, wine.
I just showed Dan that there's a video that CNBC did on Costco, the Costco wine buyer, and Kirkland Wines in general, and how Costco interacts with the wine industry. Got Dan a little fired up here, but I purchased these Kirkland wines in the past because I had seen the video, and I wanted to know. I'd never had a Kirkland wine before, and I wanted to know, are these any good? Honestly.
Yeah.
The prices are compelling. I mean, we're talking, I think, $18 here, 15 and 20 for Chateauneuf de Pape, which is reasonable, absolutely reasonable.
It's almost impossible to find a
almost
shot
impossible.
at the top for $20,
Right.
I'd say, on the American market.
So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and taste through them. Dan pre-tasted these and verified they weren't corked, and this will be my first time tasting them. So
So running through it, we're starting out with the Kirkland Signature Series Cabernet Sauvignon. This is a Cabernet blend. Was it from?
it's
On that video, what I want you to think about is look at the two representatives who's talking about some excellent wine. They're not the traditional image of wine drinkers, not the sophisticated luxury consumer. It's two guys who wants to enjoy a bottle of wine. Some will argue that this can damage a luxury brand. My perspective is, since you separate the consumption versus the purchase, no one will care. So even though a person might go into Costco to buy a $200 bottle of wine, that's typically $300, no one's going to ever ask you, where did you buy it? Instead, they want to enjoy it. Another comment I've heard from Costco is, if you're embarrassed about our label, just pour it in a decanter and then pour it from there. No one will know. And that is probably true.